All right. The long-awaited FSD Beta is finally here. So if you can see, it looks a little bit differently. So what we're going to do today is we are going to do an unedited version of the FSD Beta. I know a lot of people um, were kind of skeptic of some of the other testers out there. Um, and so that's why I'm doing this fully unedited version of what I call the Curvy Country Road Test. If you haven't seen those videos yet, this is going to be the same route that I've gone on almost every single update for a couple years now. And so we're going to see how the FSD Beta performs. So I already put in the route and made sure that it's going to take me on the exact same route. And then we're going to turn around and we're going to go in the reverse direction as well. So if you've seen my Curvy Country Road Test, you know that this is going to be very windy, very challenging. And we're going to see exactly how the FSD Beta performs. So if you haven't done so yet, make sure you hit that thumbs up button because this is going to be very exciting. So you can see here that I'm kind of pulled off to the side of the road, but the FSD Beta is already smart enough to pull me back onto the road. So, and I can also engage autopilot. I'm sitting here with my seatbelt on, of course, and you'll see me maintain. I'm going to have my hands on the wheel. The camera where I'm coming live from is back behind me. So if you do make a comment or something like that, I'll try to address those later. I cannot see the screen right now. And of course, I want to pay complete attention to what's going on in front of me. Because again, I literally just downloaded this and drove over here to get this video live for you guys. So I have not tested the FSD Beta yet. So this is going to be us experiencing it first all together right now. So let's go. So you'll see me use this scroll wheel to manually slow the car down. And what a great example. We have a couple people walking immediately right here. And so the FSD Beta does see them. So we do have the left blinker on here. And these people are probably thinking we're a little crazy. So you can see it still shows them behind us now. Comes to a full stop and it's now making a left turn. One thing I did notice already though, so typically it limits you to 5 miles per hour over the speed limit. You're not limited. So I can go pretty quick here, but I am, since this is the first test and I'm not sure how it's going to perform, I am going to go the posted speed limit. You'll see the speed limit does change a couple times throughout here. And I might even slow it down further because there are some pretty aggressive turns coming up here. So here comes our first pretty aggressive right turn. So again, I'm maintaining wheel position. It actually turned on the turn signal. Really good job. Slowed down to about 24 miles an hour. So now we have a couple winds until we get to what you can see over here on the map is almost a very sharp left turn. So I have it set to 30. It's going about 28. So far, so good. Now, for regular autopilot, if you haven't seen my Curvy Country Road Test series, I think I am going to right bend. Great job slowing down to about 27. So this is a curve that it slows down, or that it fails on every time. So I'm going to actually slow it down to 15, 10. It's not slowing down very slow. Let's see what happens. Beautiful, beautiful. So it slowed down all the way to 14. So there was no need for me to slow it down. So I'll still maintain at the posted speed limit. So that is huge right there because autopilot has failed at that last turn every single time. So I think autopilot is limited on how far the wheel can turn. And so the FSD Beta was able to crush that turn, although I did slow it down manually. And also want to mention, this is not the only test I'm going to do on the Curvy Country Road Test with FSD Beta. I'm going to test this several times. And I'm not sure if I mentioned this is the newest FSD Beta software. This is 10.3. That's also in the title. So if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're coming up on a blind hill crest here with a right turn. Very impressive there. Slows down for the turn. Wow. This is super smooth. Typically, autopilot is a little bit more jerky or slamming on the brakes. This feels so smooth. It honestly feels like I'm the passenger right now and my wife is driving or my friend is driving. That's how smooth it is. So we have a car coming out. I think looks like he's going to stop. So I thought he's going to come out of the driveway, and a really aggressive left turn here. So it is slowing down here all the way down to 22. It did hug this double yellow a little bit, but that's okay. Now the car is behind us. I wonder if it can actually see us. No. Or we can see the car. No. It's too far behind us. You saw that car back there. It's actually, the cameras are picking up cars parked in people's driveways. Really impressive. Okay, so we do have a stop sign here, and here in typical videos I have to disengage and turn right because autopilot wouldn't do that. You can see it already turned on the blinkers all by itself automatically. And now I'm looking. It is clear. Let's see. Autopilot's creeping forward. It is still clear, and it makes the right turn. That is pretty awesome. That is also pretty smooth. It did one little adjustment, I think, to be able to see either the B pillar camera or this front camera here, so it can see down the road before it turned right. Very, very impressive. So it stopped at the stop sign, then creeped forward, and then was able to see that it was still clear. Wow, super impressive. So we do have a speed reduction coming up here. You can see I have autopilot set to go, I think, 8% above the speed limit. So that's why it automatically went to 49, which is nice. So here we go down to 35. So it's going to go to 38 for me. I'm going to slow it down to 35. Now we have an intersection coming up here that is a yield to the right. So let's see how this maintains it. I'm actually going to slow down. This is a 25-mile-an-hour zone here. So it adjusts my speed to the 8% every time we pass a speed limit sign. So here we have, it's showing on the map that it's correct. So I think it is going to be able to see it. Yep. Wow, beautiful. So I've tried to get autopilot to do that so many times, and that just performed beautifully. I am checking because I don't think it slowed down very much. That is a yield there that you have to yield to oncoming traffic. There was no traffic, but I don't know if the FSD Beta even slowed down to see if there was any traffic. So we are approaching some railroad crossing here. So let's see if we get a train. Probably not. Okay, it does identify those as stoplights. Not slowing down at all, going 25 miles an hour over. Going through this small town here, going 23. Oh, okay, it is going to slow down a little bit. Went down to 19 for that speed bump. Or it's slowing down for the stop sign. Now we have a left turn. Autopilot pause, waiting for your turn. So now it should be our turn, but it's still going to let that car go as well. And it's performing this left turn here. Awesome. Now followed by a super sharp right curve. So it needs to slow down, and it always fails right here, and it does beautifully. Oh my gosh. I think FSD Beta is going to pass this test completely. This is incredible. Okay, so back there, not only the left turn, typically on the Curvy Country Road test, I have to disengage, make the left turn, re-engage before that super aggressive right turn that we just went through, and that was incredible. Wow. All right, so now we're 35, and you can see because I have autopilot set to 8% over the speed limit, it's going to go up. Double hand wave? No, nothing. Make sure if you see me, guys, out there on the road, double hand wave, as long as you're in autopilot. Okay, it is just crushing these turns. That last left bend typically performs pretty well on autopilot, although it gets a little hairy sometimes, and sometimes it'll slam on the brake. But that was beautiful. That was 100%. That is incredible. So a slight steering force. You'll see that pop up down here. I am keeping my hands on the wheel. I am remaining attentive completely, and I don't want to become complacent. This is a beta system, so oh, it is slowing down here. Some phantom braking right there. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't like a hard brake, just more of a slowing down. So here is an interesting T intersection where it typically disengages and wants to veer off the side. So let's see what happens here. Let's slow it down to 35 miles an hour, which is the speed limit. So we need to go left. Typically autopilot will go that way, and no hesitation from the FSD Beta. Very, very impressive. Wow. It took that so confidently, whereas autopilot before has been like kind of guessworking. Okay, do I go left or right? And this performed beautifully. I have to say, this little feeler line, these blue or turquoise dots that are going out in front of the car is really reassuring to me as the driver, or well, as the overseer of this system, because now I'm knowing what the car is kind of thinking, where it's planning on going, so I can quickly identify and say like, okay, it's going to veer off the path. So really nice. I like this. I like this little kind of feeler line. We have a couple more coming up here, still maintaining that speed limit. And then once we get up here to the end of the test, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to do it in reverse as well. Beautiful. Just beautiful. No hesitation. Typically autopilot, well, you'll see some phantom braking there around that blind right curve. Now we have another aggressive left turn coming up here. So it was on that left yellow line a little bit, and it saw that oncoming van and then adjusted itself mid-turn. So it definitely didn't stay in the middle. So now this turn is really challenging because it kind of goes up and back down to the left, which autopilot typically will fail on and go too far over. And beautiful, beautiful job by the FSD Beta. Right turn going up a hill now. And I love that feeler line again. You can see that it knows that the road is going to turn that way. And so I'm able to see that the car is going to do the correct thing. Again, it's picking up cars parked in people's driveways. Just really cool as the driver to see just how much visualization is happening right now. So really aggressive. Last turn in the forward test. Oh, it's getting close over there. It passed. Oh my gosh. So in the forward direction, the FSD Beta was able to crush it, and it passed. That is so incredible. The autopilot has never done that successfully because it cannot do the turn. So me as a driver, that was completely zero interventions on the forward direction. So now I'm going to see if it actually makes a left turn here. Yep, it's got the turn signal on. We got two cars behind us. A little shaky there. Wow, incredible. Okay. I had to disengage there because I don't think it saw that little stone brick thing. All right, we are turning around and we're going to hit this test in the reverse direction. So overall impressions, very much blown away. That was really impressive just to see zero interventions. All right, let me get situated here a little bit and figure out exactly. All right, so we need to be here. So we're going to add a point, navigate. So my foot is on the brake now, so it's not going to give me the option to engage autopilot. Now I want to make sure that it's cutting me on the exact same route. Yep, and so we got that left turn there, and we are ready to go. Okay, so now all I have to do, once my route is in with the FSD Beta, you can see it's already feeling, right? All I'm doing is in drive. And like you saw at the first part of this video, all I have to do is engage autopilot. So since we're on that slope, you could hear the car kind of pump the brakes briefly. So it knows we're going to make a right-hand turn coming out of this neighborhood here, which is a pretty big road. And it takes it. It was clear. I looked and saw it was clear. Okay, so now we're doing the Curvy Country Road test in the reverse direction. I'm going to slow it down to the posted speed limit. And we have that really aggressive right turn coming up here. So we're going to actually turn right and go down at an angle a little bit. Okay. Pretty smooth. Autopilot definitely struggles on that turn. If you see my previous videos, you know I really have to pull on the wheel because a lot of times it likes to veer over or come too sharp on the curve. And now at the bottom of this hill, we have a really aggressive left turn coming up. Okay, I don't know how many people are watching this video, but I hope all of you guys have hit that thumbs up button. All right, here's our blind right little curve here. Beautiful job. I think the FSD Beta is going to completely crush the Curvy Country Road test. And I might do one more actual video instead of just going live on the Curvy Country Road test and call that test complete. Now we have that blind left turn coming up here. Hands are remaining on the wheel. I'm still attentive. Very smooth, super smooth. Now I keep comparing this to autopilot, but autopilot in that situation may have, and I've experienced that before, like some phantom braking or slowed down a lot more drastically than the FSD Beta did. That felt really natural. That felt like just like I would as a regular human driver would have taken that curve. A little hairy there. It's like slowing down, kind of thinking around that last intersection back there. But again, a zero disengagement drive all the way here. So let's see if we can make it zero disengagements all the way going back as well. And this is pretty aggressive in terms of a full self-driving vehicle. Beta. Okay, so I think it slowed down for that car turning up here. A lot of these people like to pull out in front of you, so it did briefly slow down. I think it saw that that car was stopping, and it slowed down for this car. Right as we came around the curve, you could see that car was inching forward and pulled out, and so we slowed down ever so slightly. Now you can see on the display that we're following this vehicle, which in my experience on this road, following another vehicle definitely helps the autopilot. I don't know if it makes a difference for FSD. I haven't tested this enough. Like I said, I just got this and this is the first drive with it. So now that I have the FSD Beta, if you guys want to see something specific to that, make sure you leave a comment below. Also, my email is on my YouTube page. If you go to About, you can send me an email with like a request if you want to request a certain type of video, something that you haven't seen before, something where we can really torture test the FSD Beta. Okay, so we need to slow down here. We're coming back into that little town, and it slows down to 30. 28, 27, 26. Okay, and it is able to maintain lane position and make that right curve. We're still 35. It's going to drop to 25 here soon. So I'm really concerned. You can see on the map, it looks like 2 turns. Right before we get into the town, there's that really aggressive left turn to get to that stop sign that's right up there. So let's see what happens. I'm going to slow it down to 25. It's got the turn signal, thinking that this is a turn. Maintaining lane position. Getting a little close. It's definitely on the double yellow, but no disengagement is necessary. That is a really hard turn, and autopilot has never passed that turn. So we're going to stop completely here and make a beautiful right turn from that stop sign. Excellent job by the FSD Beta. Now this guy's going to turn in front of us, so let's see what happens. Slow down slightly. So autopilot, typically, if you have somebody turn in front of you and you're on autopilot, will slam on the brakes. So really nice to see how it performed, beautifully. It was able to predict where that car was going to go, and it knew that it was just turning in front. Where autopilot, I feel like, is not as intelligent, so it just sees vehicle and wants to stop. So now we have that yield scenario that we had, but now we're going slightly past and turning left. So let's see what happens. All right, we have our left blinker turning on, slowing down to about 10 miles an hour. Beautiful job. I think I need a sticker on the back of my car, caution student driver. As you can see, this guy is like, what the heck is this person doing? So we are going the posted speed limit. Now it's 35, so it's going to go up to 38. Eventually, we did have a little slowdown there. I'm not sure what it was seeing. Now it's 45, so it's going to do about 8% over that. And we have our left turn coming up here. Oh, we got a Jeep pull out. So it does slow down appropriately, just like I would do as a normal driver. Now let's see if it turns on the turn signal. Yep. Here comes our left turn coming up. We have one oncoming car. Pretty smooth. Pretty smooth. Wow. So I was, of course, fully attentive, making sure there was no oncoming traffic, but the car was accurate and determined that there was no oncoming traffic and didn't even really slow down. It really took that turn very naturally, just like I would. Like in that type of situation with no oncoming traffic, you don't have to slow down to almost a stop. And it definitely just slowed down a little bit and took the turn really smoothly. So pretty aggressive right turn coming up now. Some braking from the autopilot, and now it's able to predict the road, and very smooth. Not as smooth as some of the other turns I've seen. It did have a little bit of braking in there, but pretty smooth. So a couple more turns that are on the easier side before we get to that really aggressive turn where the where the autopilot has always failed in either direction. So that was near the beginning of the test, and it's always failed in this direction as well. So let's see what the FSD Beta does. I think that's one of the last turns, I think, where there might be a disengagement required. So far, so good. Since it's a straightaway, we'll speed it up here a little bit. Now I'll slow it back down to the posted speed limit because we're coming up, you can see on the map here, to that really aggressive, this is going to be a right turn now. You can see the street signs pointing arrows that way. It's slowing down now to 30, slowing down even more. No oncoming cars. Slowed down all the way to 15. So that was pretty harsh. It was still able to do it because I think it kind of snuck up on the FSD Beta. Like it realized that that was a pretty aggressive. I think it felt it really slowed down and then took the turn. But no disengagement required. Um, Still doing a great job. Hey, let's see if the skeleton registers as a person. No, didn't see the skeleton. Now, if you see on the map, one of our last aggressive turns is coming up here, and that's going to be to the left. Here we go. It's slowing down, realizing that it's pretty aggressive to the left. Maintaining lane position, even with limited lane markings there. Beautiful job. Beautiful job. Okay, so there you have it. That is the Curvy Country Road Test, forward and back, live, unedited, 0 disengagements. Simply incredible. This is FSD Beta 10.3 is what we're running, and just incredible. Really very impressive. I'm going to do another Curvy Country Road Test probably just to kind of uh, finalize that video series, because this was able to pass it 100%, which has never happened before. So if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed. So I'm going to do a lot more content with this FSD Beta that I have, along with my other usual content as well. So thanks so much for tuning in, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend.